The remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their direction by education. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live for the program The Afternoon Conversation. We provide you a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live from Monday through Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out.
It's good to be here in our ways. We appreciate you following us on the program. Business Talk. Business Talk is your regular feature program here every Saturday about this time that enlightens your mind, giving you the clear understanding of what it takes to form part of the business world. We provide you the technical know-how. We explain to you in details the things that you need to do and the things that you are not to do. We give you the do's and don'ts. Today, our my co-pilot is not with us, like he told you last week. He was going on vacation, so he won't be here with us today. But he's with us in spirit because he followed religiously to this radio and that of our online TV, Love TV Live. Like we always say to you, whenever you log in, share the page, call a friend to tell a friend that indeed the program, of course, Business Talk is on, and we need to have that conversation. What we're going to be doing this afternoon is very simple. We will play you a portion of the teaching that was actually done by Mr. Akina R. Phillips on last week. And then when we come back, it will just be a recap for you. When we come back, we will open the lines so that you, our regular followers, will explain to us what you've learned, what impact this program is actually making in your life as it relates to your business. You've gotten yourself involved into the business world, what impact this program is making in your knowledge so far that you are applying in your business and you've seen some level of transformation. My name is Rufus Divine Conan. As always, I'm here. I'm privileged. Whenever I sit before the microphone, I give God the glory because He is the author and finisher of our faith. This program is non-political, but we teach you so that you be able to make living with your own hands, Like we always say, knowledge is power. When you have knowledge, that's something that no one can take away from you. Your daddy can take away his house. Your mommy can take away her dresses. But the knowledge, when given, cannot be retrieved. So this program enlightens your mind, gives you the knowledge that is required for you to get involved into the business world. If you are already there, it gives you the urge to do those things that are meant to be done so that you shouldn't be like, oh, if I had known. No. You will already be in the know of what you are about to enter or what you are already into. If you enter it ignorantly, this program will give you the opportunity to have that insight that indeed you can make a change, you can make amends so that you transform the level or the pattern in which you were using, that you weren't getting that are needed revenue or that needed elevation you had to experience in business. So without much ado, I'm going to play you, like I said, a part of the teaching, the previous teaching. So you listen keenly, and then when we come back after the teaching, we open the lines so that you tell us what impact this program is actually making in your life. All right? What impact is this program making in your life? So let's get the teaching for you. Of course, he's not here, but he's with us monitoring and getting all of the points, the next edition or next week when he comes back, he will share with us. Let me just share that phone with you people. Mr. Philip Pali, I saw the man in Dubai with his family, um, reaffirming his vow to his darling wife. So we say, for and on behalf of the team here, Mr. Phillips, we say congratulations. All of the followers appreciate you for what you continue to do. We appreciate your efforts. And we say to your darling wife, thanks so much for standing with Mr. Phillips in every way, because as the saying goes, behind every successful man, there's a strong and prayerful woman. Indeed, you are that prayerful woman in his life. For every time, if he was going through troubling times, he wouldn't have come here always to enlighten our minds. His mind will be disturbed, but that shows that indeed you are making that impact in his life, and it's cut across, touching the lives of all of us, because he comes on in an energetic mood with a vigor to impart knowledge, because knowledge is power. So we say to you, Mrs. Phillips, thank you so much, as always, for being there with Mr. Phillips, so that he's empowered to do what he finds himself doing, and doing it to the best of his ability, that is making impact in the society, yea, the world. So thanks so much, Alfred, for always joining us. Alfred Antonin Bull Sr., thank you so much. We appreciate you. So let's go to the teaching Mr. Phillips did last week. So listen keenly and jot down those points, okay?
Whether you go to Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, you go to Egypt, you go to Saudi, you go to any other country across, even in the US, small business make up the largest portion of job creation in these economies. And number two, small business make up a major portion of the GDP, gross domestic product. So the GDP of every nation's economy plays that GDP. The small business plays a major role in terms of percentages of it. More than 50% of the GDP of every nation's economy is made up of what? Small business. Because why? They create the most amount of jobs. And number three, small business generate the most amount of revenue in every nation's economy. So you got the most amount of jobs. You got a larger percent of the GDP, okay, domestic product represented by small business. And when you look at the volume of transactions, business transactions from Maryland County to Grand Kitma County, from Montserrat all the way up to Lofa or to Nimba, all of those counties, be it in across Liberia, be it in Guinea, be it in Ghana, in any of those countries, small business transactions on a daily basis infuse more cash, and there's more, capital movement. Okay, the bankers will call it capital, and the economists will call it capital movement. There's more movement of money, transaction, person to person, business to business being done across the small business segment. So if you look in the case of Liberia, where you have markets, every city, every town has a marketplace where people go to buy the daily wares, and they're selling. All of the petty traders, all of the small, the money, the mobile money changers, the scratch card dealers, the keke riders, the motorbike riders, the taxi drivers. I mean, the guys who are doing IT contracts and fixing computers, the people who are selling used car parts. All of those are petty traders. They all constitute small to medium-sized business. So the key point that I really want for us to discuss today is to kind of figure out, to ask ourselves, right? If small business makes up these three major components, right? These three major components, they create the most amount of jobs. They have a larger percent of the GDP, right? And there's more cash transactions through the small business segment of the national economy. But then we ask ourselves, why is it that the small businesses are not making the impact in the communities, in the counties, in the cities, in the towns, in the villages? Why is it that the small businesses, with all of this power, with all of this might, with all of this, cash money being transacted and moved around. In the case of Liberia, it's millions of dollars. In the case of Ghana, Guinea, Sierra Leone, the U.S. Why is it that small business is not making the impact, be it politically, I don't want to go there, but or even seeing it in the economy? Why is it? Why is it? When big decisions have to be made, why is it that this major segment of the economy that accounts for so much, why are they not being consulted? Why is it that their voice is not being heard? Oh, and this is what I want to talk about today. And the reason why that voice is not being heard, the three things I want for us to write down today. Three things we're going to write down today. The reason why the voice of small business is not being heard is because of three things. And I need all of us to write that down today. Okay. The first one is profit. The first one is efficiency. Okay. The lack of efficiency. The lack of efficiency. Okay. Lack of efficiency. So the key thing with small business is that the small business people do not follow. You remember this list we talked about when we first started this show? We get to what? The 10 things, the 10 keys, right? We talked about the 10 essential keys for small business or for every business, whether it's small, medium, or large. We talked about the 10 things, right? Everybody memorized them, everybody knows them. You must have passion, knowledge in the sector that you're doing business. You must have experience, growing experience. We talked about setting specific goals. We talked about a vision. We talked about creating a mission statement. We talked about the master plan, having a plan that is driven by a strategy so that you can execute and produce fruits. We talked about the team, building your team. We talked about accountability within your business. And then last but not least, we talked about creating a positive work environment so that that team will be cohesive, work together, a division of labor, assigned task and responsibility, and ultimately execution. We talked about these 10 things. And these 10 things all have what? They all have a direct effect on the efficiency of your business. So if you're just running a business, if you call yourself running your business, you need to understand that your profitability is directly connected and dependent on what? On your efficiency. Write that down. Your profitability of your business is directly dependent upon your efficiency of running that business. And the efficiency of running that business has to do with what? The business process. So when you're running your business, or you're setting up a business, or you're planning on thinking, or you're planning on getting into it, you need to, when you find your topic or find your market segment, you need to then write your business process. So your business process basically is a series of steps as to how this business is going to be carried out. And when you write down that process, you go through that process. And the more effective and the more efficient that process is, then that means what comes out of that process will be very profitable. Okay, so write that down. You got to have your business process, and the more clear that business process is, okay, then, and as you repeat that business process, going through those steps, the more effective, the more efficient your business process is, the more profitable you will ultimately become. So one of the things that hinders small businesses in Liberia, we get back on topic. So one of the things that number one thing for today to remember, if you're a small business person in Brangida, in Banga, in Kakata, in Monrovia, or anywhere listening on Facebook, in the US, wherever it is, the efficiency of your business process directly affects your profitability. Write that down. The efficiency or the effective running, okay, or operating of your business process will directly affect the profitability of your business or of your company. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is productivity. Productivity. How productive is your business? How productive is your business? If you're not producing, if you're not producing the fruits, if you're not, and productivity also depends on what? On effective efficiency. If your efficiency is poor, that means your productivity is poor. And that means your profitability will be way down. So profitability is so important. Profitability is so important because that's the life of the business. If your profitability is approaching zero, that means your expenses are increasing. And if your expenses are more than your profitability, then ultimately you're going to what? You're going to die a slow death. Your business is going to die a slow death. You'll find yourself in the morgue, and then you'll ultimately find yourself in a cemetery being buried. Your business is going to die. So efficiency is important and productivity is important. And then your productivity is also affected by what? By the business process. So that's why it's so important. Take for instance, Alfred Boo. I know you do business while you're on this program. Whatever business you're doing, Alfred, if you think about it, if you write down your business process, I can't come to you and say you're doing scratch card business. Okay, you're doing scratch cards. What else you do? You're doing money changing. You're doing money changing. You're doing mobile money, and then you're also doing payouts, and then you're also making deposits for people. Okay, then you're also selling scratch cards. So you got three segments of your business. You're doing mobile money, you're changing money, and you're selling scratch cards. So what are the processes involved in that? How efficient is that? How efficient is that process? Is going to directly affect your what? Your profitability. You must have an operating cost. You must know how much you're going to spend every day to get to work, to get to your location, come home, your meal for the day. And but maybe you're going to be sitting there and you're going to spend maybe $2 or $3 on data just to be on Facebook to pass the time. But all of that is what, and then anybody comes for mobile money, there's a process. Anybody comes to mobile money because this is what, either pay in or pay out. Okay, so it's so important. It's so important that you get that process down when it comes to selling your scratch cards. But that's also important. What's the process in there? Is it by mobile money you're selling the scratch card, or is it a physical card you're selling? That process has to be efficient. Do you have people in the field that come to you, pick up product and take it out every day? Do you have other guys in the field who are working under you where they get a piece of your business and then you get a piece as well? That process, okay, that entire business process, you need to write it down. You need to review it for any inefficiencies, any unproductive action in that process. Remove it. You need to remove it because it's affecting your profitability. It's affecting your profitability. If you're spending $2 a day on scratch cards, just on data to sit there, right? That means you're losing $2 a day from your revenue. What could you be doing with that time? Is it more efficient for you to sit in one place? Or is it more efficient to have yourself sitting in one place and have another guy walking around the neighborhood in that area to sell the scratch cards so that at least you can have two revenue streams? That guy is out there selling while you're also at one location. Write down the process, expand and grow your business. You go from one person selling for you, two persons selling for you. But the business process must be efficient and it must be productive. Okay? And then number 3, profitability. Profitability. At the end of the day, you're only in business to do what? To make profit. If you're not in business to make profit, that means you're not in business. If you're not profitable in your business, then you're not in business. Because that means you're just spending money, but you're not getting a return. Okay? So basically, profit in any situation, right? In any transaction, you buy it for $5, you sell it for $10. But the $10 you sell it for, you have to what? Subtract the cost from the sale. What you're left with, that's not your profit. No, you have to then you must subtract your operating costs, your administrative costs. You subtract it from that, and what's left over, maybe it's $2.50 that's left over. That is your profit. So not because you bought it for 10 and you sold it for 25, that means you made $15 profit. No, it costs you money to bring it in. It costs you money to carry it out. It costs you money to even pay your transport and everything. So you have to subtract all of that, and whatever is left, that becomes your gross profit. Okay, so you need to understand the numbers. If you don't, because at the end of the day, business is all about numbers. Profitability is all about numbers. If your numbers don't add up, you are not profitable. And ultimately, if you are not profitable, you are going to die a slow death. You'll find yourself in the emergency room. Next place, you'll be in the morgue. And the next place, they'll have your wake, your funeral, and you'll be in the cemetery. Your business is ultimately going to die. So it's so important that you stay, when you run your business, you want to stay out of the emergency room. It's okay to go to the hospital every time, but then when you're in business, okay, it's okay as a business every now and then, every week or every month, you go and get a checkup in the hospital and come back and be more efficient. But you can't spend your time as a business always in the emergency room. That means you're not growing. And that's so essential. It's so critical as a business. So the three key things that affect small businesses from them being impactful or having a large and a powerful voice for being so powerful in an economy is the lack of efficiency, the lack of productivity, and the lack of profitability. So when businesses are not profitable, that means they don't have more money to spend. They don't have more money to spend. So if you don't have more money to spend, then how will you grow? If you don't have more money to spend, and then that means you cannot grow. That means your small business will always be a small business. So that's why efficiency is so important. Productivity in your business is so important. And profitability, ultimately profitability, is so important. Making sure you're operating every day in a profitable way so that your business process, you understand your business process, and you make that business process more efficient and more productive. And then you ultimately become more efficient in your operations. And then that will lead to your profitability. When you're more profitable, you can expand. You can reinvest in your business for your business to grow. Okay, so that's why profitability is so important. Okay. So, I mean, I want everyone to grab those 3 points. That is where small businesses, be it in the U.S., be it in Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Ghana, small businesses are being directly affected by the lack of efficiency, the lack of productivity, and the lack of profitability. And if those 3 things are not cohesively or strategically attacked and dealt with, okay, your business is ultimately going to end up where? In the hospital. You will end, and then while you're in the hospital, you'll be moved to where? To the trauma unit. And then from the trauma unit, you're in the emergency room. And then you're on what? You're on life support. And then you ultimately die, and you get in the morgue. And then the next thing you know, your business is going bankrupt. The business has died. So it's so important as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as a petty trader, small business, medium-sized business, you must understand, write down, clarify your business process, get the 10 points down so that you can become what? More efficient, more productive, that will lead to more profitability, that will help your business to ultimately what? Incrementally grow over time. Because more profitability allows you to have more emergency cash that you can deposit and then reinvest into your business to help it to grow. Okay. Now, let's talk about how small businesses can address this within their environment. So, like I said last week, right? Let's talk about energy, for example. Let's talk about energy for a second. We said small business is so important for any nation's economy, be it the U.S., the European, the EU, Canada, Japan, G7 nations, or even in Liberia, developing countries. Small business is so important for the economy, for the economic growth, right? Okay. But at the same time, We said last week that what the engine, right? The stimulus, okay? What makes small business even grow faster is what? The provision, the availability, and the supply of electricity. Electricity is so important to small business more than big business. Why is that? Why is electricity or energy more important to small business compared to big business? And I'll give you the answer. The reason why electricity is so much more important to small business to help them to grow compared to big businesses is a simple truth. Big businesses can afford to pay for a generator. They can afford to pay for the fuel for the generator. They can afford to pay for what? The maintenance on the generator. They can afford it. And then what they do, whatever product they're manufacturing, they're going to take that cost, right? And they're going to add it onto the product, and they're going to pass it on to the consumers. So ultimately, the big businesses are not paying for the electricity costs. They're passing it on to the consumers. The consumers in the market are saying, what? Wow, look at this. The PVC pipes are more expensive today. Why? Because the big business that makes the PVC pipes, right? Okay, they're taking the cost of energy and they're adding it onto the product, and they're passing it on to the consumers. So the consumers actually ultimately pay for the energy costs. So that's how the big business work. Why? Because they, don't forget, they also have to be what? Efficient. They also have to be productive, and they also have to be profitable. Because if they're not efficient, if they're not productive, and they're not profitable, what happens? You'll also be in the emergency room, and you'll see a big business being brought in there also and put in the trauma unit. They too are going to ultimately what? They too are going to ultimately end up in the trauma unit too. They also are going to ultimately end up in the trauma unit as well, because they're not being efficient, productive, and profitable. So if they cannot cover the energy costs for themselves for what they're doing, what they're making, okay, they too are going to become less profitable. So this is the key. This is the key to small business. This is the key. So electricity, energy, supply, the distribution, the transmission of it, the generation of it, okay, is so essential for small business. Okay, now let's look at the other side. So we all agree that big business can afford to cover the cost of energy, electricity, in the case of buying a generator, buying the fuel, and then paying for the maintenance team to maintain it and all the spare parts. Because why? They take that cost, they add it to the product, and they move that cost onto that product and move that product where? Into the market. And then the consumers in the market ultimately pay the cost of the what? Of the energy cost for them, for the big business. So that's the formula. That's the formula. Now, let's look in the case of the small business. The lack of electricity, the lack of energy, the lack of the supply, the transmission, distribution of it for small business is very detrimental, because small business cannot afford it. They simply cannot afford it. So as a result, the small businesses, for as many as they are, for as much transaction that they do, for as many jobs as they create, they cannot move from one level to the next level, because the lack of energy, the lack of electricity, the lack of the supply of it, right? The generation of it, right? The availability of it affects their growth. And then we're back to here again. It affects their efficiency. It affects their productivity, and it affects their profitability. So as a result, with as many small businesses there are across Liberia, across all the different countries, you will come to realize that the lack of electricity, energy, the supply, transmission, distribution of it is affecting the growth of that major segment of the economy. Okay? It's affecting the most important, critical, vital part of the economy. So it's something that has to be not just known. This doesn't only require knowledge. Okay, so you can know something, but the key is what? Is when you understand it. Because when you understand it, then you can apply it. You can then develop a plan, develop a strategy to implement that plan, and then you can move to execution to produce the fruits, okay, to show the results. So that's the key. That's what hinders small business the most, the lack of electricity. And so that's why small businesses in Lofa, small businesses in Maryland, small businesses in Grand Jita, Cape Mount, Guinea, Ghana, whatever the case is, you look at those countries, you see the robustness. Let's take to Liberia for now. So if you look at Maryland, Grand Jita, you look at Grand Bassa, you look at Cape Mount, Lofa, you look at all of those areas. What you come to realize is the small businesses, for as impactful as they are across Lofa, how many big industries are in Lofa? I mean, you can't even count 10. But when you consider how many small businesses, the motorbike riders, the Kobo shops, the money changers, the scratch card dealers, the guys who are doing small business, the guys who are making charcoal, the women in the market, they make up the massive number of the Lofan economy. But then when you compare, when you look at the few big businesses that are there, they can afford the electricity costs. They can afford to pay for the diesel fuel. They can afford to pay for the generators. But then, and you look at Cellcom, you look at Orange, you look at MTN. They're the big businesses. They can afford to pay for the electricity, the diesel fuel, to have their trucks coming up to bring the fuel to carry to the tower sites to keep the stations on. But guess what? The guys who are selling these scratch cards, I mean, the guy is sitting he's sitting on the side of the road. He's got a Chinese light there all night. So how can his business grow? How can he be more profitable? How can he be more efficient? How can he be more productive? So he's going to have to run his entire business on 12 hours of sunshine. So he's waiting for the sun to rise in the east. And then by the time the sun sets in the west, I mean, it's, shut down, go home. So he can't even run and generate more revenue at night. Why? Because of the lack of electricity. And then whoever is making palm oil or making gari or making farina, whatever the case is, how can that business grow? How can it create more jobs? How can it be more profitable? How can it be more effective? How can it be more productive in the Lofan economy? They really can't. So you take that situation and you can apply it to Cape Mount, to Bomi, to Bapolu, to Grand Bassa, to Riverset, to Maryland, to Grand Jita, to River G. It's everywhere. It's the same situation everywhere. So that's why when you look, you talk to people, things are hard. That's the reason why. The small businesses do not have the ability, the empowerment for them to grow. And if they cannot grow, then I mean we have a what? We have a stagnant lack of growth in the economy. So the big businesses, they can grow because most of what they're doing, they're exporting. They're exporting their goods, right? And then those who are doing local manufacturing, big businesses, they're passing on the cost of energy on to the price of the product and pushing it to the consumer for the consumers to pay that. But the small business guy, the small business people, they're all by themselves. They have no help. So that's why it's so important for small businesses, right? The small businesses. The next point here, what affects the growth of small business, write it down. Number 4 is the lack of communication. Now, why do I put this on here? I put this on here because one of the most important things for small business in the U.S. is what? They communicate. They have different groups. And they share information back and forth within that segment or within that sector. So if the scratch card guys in Lofa County can communicate among themselves, form an association, and then that way they can exchange information back and forth. So the problems that somebody has identified can be shared within the group. That means the group can now bring forth a solution to that problem that will no longer affect everyone. So communication between or within the group, within the segment, the market segment in small business is essential. So what happens with small business in the case of Liberia, wherever the case it may be, developing countries, everybody wants to operate by themselves. So if they find something that works oh, I'm not going to tell anybody because, you know, the devil is always busy. So, you know, if it doesn't work, then blame it on the devil. You know, he's the bad guy. He can never even tell the truth. So it's so important. It's so important that communication, if you're in the money changing business, if you guys are in an area, you're 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 people in the area, hey, we have the technology. Communicate, share experiences. Maybe there's a bad customer in the area who's borrowing money, not paying it back. But the lack of communication within the group, within that market segment, within that geographical area could save another person in that same business $200, $300, or $400 because no, that information was not shared. So the guy said, you know what? I borrow money over here on Jamaica Road. So what I'll do is I'll go to Vata and borrow money from there again. But if you guys had an association where you're exchanging information, share the guy's picture and share his name. If he pops up somewhere else, guess what? That information's already said, I can't borrow you no money. So communication is so important. Communication is so important. It's so important because and the next point, right? Let's write that down. Let's write that down. The next point here is what? Is use of technology. The use of technology. So it's so important for small businesses to make use of available technology. What am I talking about? You've got Facebook, you've got WhatsApp, you've got Instagram, you've got all of the different technology that operate on smartphones. So if you're in business, doing small business, petty trading, whatever the case is, right? You need to use, you cannot make the excuse. Let me just interject this point. I hear a lot of people say, well, this is Liberia. No, when you're in business, accepting the norm should never be what you do. You must always reject what people force you to accept. Okay? You must always reject it. Because as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, your focus is to what? Is to be efficient, to be productive, and to ultimately be profitable. And then you can use Malcolm X's greatest say, by any means necessary. Okay? So whatever means there are or that's available to you to apply, to implement, to put to use, to produce the fruits of profitability in your business, you must do it. You cannot say this is Liberia. No, that's an excuse. That's not a reason. That's an excuse. That's not a reason. So you must read, and that's what makes you a businessman, because everybody cannot be a businessman. You need to understand that. Everybody cannot be a businessman, but it takes a certain breed. It takes a certain character. It takes a certain mindset for you to walk, to step, to upgrade, to climb up that ladder to where, to entrepreneurs, and to say, you know what, I'm a businessman. I'm going to wake up every day. I'm going to say my prayers, and I'm going to put my plan together. I'm going to work my plan. I'm going to develop the strategies I need. I will find the resources, okay? And I will apply them, and I will produce the results. So it's so important. So communication, let's go back to communication. So it's important. All of you guys who are listening today, if you're a money changer, form an association. And then let that association, you got WhatsApp. Create a WhatsApp group. Move information back and forth within the group. Any new thing that can help the business, that can help, that you're using in your business that's helping you to be more efficient, more productive, more profitable, put it in the group so the other members of the group in that market segment will be able to apply it also for them to be for them to be profitable, efficient, and productive. So that community will be able to be impactful in the Liberian economy. So important. Communication is key. You must move information back and forth. What good is the information when only you have it, and the information that you have can be more impactful on the whole nation, on the whole segment of the economy that can bring about transformational change when you don't share it. So you must understand how important communications is. We're using this technology today. I'm sitting all the way in Houston, Texas, and I'm using internet technology through the radio station there in Cinco, broadcasting and then relaying it through the internet to Grand Jide, to Banga, and to Kakata, then across Monrovia, and then everybody on Facebook. We're using this technology. So don't say, well, this is Liberia, it can't work. No. You're saying it cannot work there simply because of the limitation of your mind. So as a businessman, you must understand that you break the chains, you remove the limits, and you apply, you adapt, you take hold of those things that will help to move your business forward. So communication among business people in different market segments is so critical, it's so important, it's so vital. Okay, so make sure those of you who are keke riders, people who do bad things on the keke, make sure take the person's picture, put it in the group. If a license plate hits a car, whatever the case, take the picture, put it in the group. Communication using the available technology is so critical, it's so vital to a market segment, to small business, to the ultimate transformation within the economy. So important, so vital. Okay, let's move on to number 5. We talked about the use of technology. Technology. That's what drives the world today. Why? Because technology connects everybody. We're back to communication again. So technology is important. If you're a keke rider, why don't you have all your customers on a WhatsApp group? In a WhatsApp group using that technology. Why should you also use a button phone? Make the investment in a smartphone so that you'll be able to have access to all your customers. Use WhatsApp. Create a banner for yourself. Make a banner for yourself and put that banner on Facebook. Use Facebook. Create a Facebook group. Connect your customers. Let your customers give you a review. Bobby always picks me up on time. Bobby always charges me the right rate. Bobby is always clean. Bobby is a safe driver. Let your customers give you a review using that technology so that other customers will be able to see, and then they will be drawn to you because you are a safe driver. You charge fairly. You're always on time. You're always dressed nicely, and you're always clean. So this is important. So that's why we were saying, small business across Liberia plays a very vital role in every county's economy, for the economy of every city, every town, every village. It's so critical. It's so vital. Don't make the excuse that, this is Liberia. I live in Smenotis. I live in Bomba. Nothing happening here. No, that's an excuse. Okay? It's so important to you because, again, as I said, as a businessman, whether you're a petty trader today, your plan is to what? Is not to always be a petty trader. Your plan, your strategy, right, should be what? For you to move to the next level. How do you move to the next level? You must what? You must reduce inefficiency. You must become more efficient. You must, to move to the next level, you must be what? More productive. To move to the next level, you must be more profitable. To move to the next level, you must what? Apply and use communications through technology and use the technology. Okay, so it's so important, it's so vital. So that's why you see small business, they create the most amount of jobs in every nation's economy, even in Liberia. They have the most amount of revenue transactions every day, person to person, mobile money or cash hand. They create the most for the GDP, and they create the most amount of jobs in every economy. But yet and still, their impact, they don't have a voice. Even if they make a lot of noise, nobody listens because they're what? They're inefficient, unproductive. Worst of all, they're not profitable. They don't use communications effectively, and they do not use the technology effectively. So as a result, as big as they are, they don't make an impact. So in order for us to change that, we as small business people, you must what? You must, let's put number 6. You must be willing to learn. Number 6, willing to learn. Okay, put it down. When you're a small business person, you must be hungry to learn. Don't always believe that you know everything. It's so important to sit, to be quiet, to shut up, and to listen. Because if you knew everything, then why are you a small business? The reason you're a small business today is because you don't know everything. That's why you're starting now. So in order for you to grow, you've got to listen. And you got to be willing to what? To be taught. So I can sit on here for 2 hours and, talk my heads out and no one listens. So where is the change going to take place in your life or in your business? Because without the transformation in your business, you will not be profitable. And if you're not profitable, what did we say? If you're not efficient, and if you're not productive, and if you're not profitable, and you're not using the proper communication and the proper technology, and you don't listen to learn, guess what? You're going to end up in the hospital as a business. From the hospital room, they will bring you down to trauma and emergency. And then after that, you'll be on life support. And then from life support, you're going to die. They're going to pronounce your death. And then you're going to be in the cold morgue. And then we're going to walk behind you to the cemetery and bury you. Your business is going to die. So to prevent your business from dying, one of the key points, number 6, you must be willing to learn. Learning is an important part of a business cycle. The more you learn, the more you earn. Write it down. The more you learn, the more you earn. You must be willing to learn. Shut up, sit down, listen, be quiet. Shut up, listen, be quiet, learn. And that's how you grow. You don't know everything. If you knew everything, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. The reason we're having the conversation is because you don't know. So just shut up and sit down and listen. And that's the key. So as a small business, you must be like a sponge. You must be hungry to learn. Wherever knowledge comes from, get it. Wherever insight comes from, take it. Wherever the revelation comes from, grab hold of it. Whatever the possibility for growth comes from, take it. Because it will ultimately help you to be efficient, productive, profitable, and that will help you to expand and to grow. Okay. So that's key for us. One of the other things that affects small businesses. So don't forget now, we made a list today. It may come on the pop quiz next week. Next week I'm not going to be here, so Rufus will be here. So, so make sure you write down your points. This is a course. This is not just talking on the radio. This is a course. So we want everyone to listen, to learn, to apply it to your business, whether you have the intellectual center, like Mr. Aloysius Nukes there, you have an intellectual center, whether you have a small Kobo shop, you have a small restaurant, you have a market table, you're changing money, whatever it is, apply these principles that will help you to grow. Don't forget the 6 points that we talked about today that affect small business. Number 1, lack of efficiency, lack of productivity, lack of profitability, lack of communications, use technology, the lack of the use of technology, and they're not willing to sit down, shut up, and be quiet and listen to learn. So if you can apply those 6 things as a small business, there's no doubt that there will be transformational change in your business. And you will see yourself being more profitable. You will see yourself growing. You will see yourself making a greater impact in your community. And you will ultimately be able to save some money and then reinvest in your business that will help you to ultimately be a Buka one day. Okay? So that's the whole idea. So I'm back to you, Rufus. If you want to take some,
we definitely take calls. We definitely take few calls. But what is more important, I want to actually stress on, like you made mention of,
So
the
that's
issue that has to
it
do with
for
communication.
us.
Communication,
It's good. It's good. We had the time. The teaching was wonderful, and we always appreciate Mr. Phillips for what he continued to do in providing basic knowledge to all of us as we go about our daily activities in the world of business. So, like I said previously, when we started off the show this afternoon, I said to you, we will play you the teaching of last week. Following that, we will allow you to weigh in and tell us what impact this show is making in your life, in your business. So you're going to call us and just share with us what this show is actually doing in your life and that of the world of business. 0887 0778 are the numbers to call this afternoon. You listen to the recap of our lesson from last week. It's about time that you tell us what you've learned and what impact this program is making in your life. 0778 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call. Let's have the conversation. This program, I've been doing something. We've been here for a couple of weeks now. Mr. Philip and I have been providing you basic information that you need to know in the world of business, shifting your business from one level to the other, taking up all of the little points that you need to know. They have been provided. So tell us, what impact are we making? If we are making an impact or we are just wasting our time, let us know. We are open. So it's an open microphone this afternoon. Call and tell us, what is it like? Business talk, impact they are making, and what are those things that you haven't understand yet? We will have the time schedule next week. We will go after that and enlighten your minds on it. So get the call 0778 665 0887 105 105 0887 105 105 0778 665 are the numbers to call. You listen to the teaching, folks. Let's get to talk. Let's get to talk. Let's go on the live feed here. Jusu Hassan Jr. Jusu is always with us. Jusu, he said, I am learning. Thank you so much, Jusu. Jusu, we appreciate you. Let's go to the line and take this person. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
How are you, sir? What's your name? And you join us from where?
Yeah, I'm good. This is Isaiah David Clark Jr. calling from X Bolivar.
Okay. Clark, let's hear you, man. Let's hear you.
Yeah, it's like I came in very late on this program, and I really enjoyed it at the down minute where our instructor talked about the marketing, how the market runs, and the impact it gives back to the consumer, and the improvement, how to improve the businesses. I really enjoyed that, and I would like you to please tell me the time of your program, because I want to be a part to understand about marketing.
Okay, my brother, we are here by the grace of God every Saturday from 2 to 3:30.
Okay.
Every Saturday from 2 to 3:30, by the grace of God, we are here providing you the knowledge that you need to know in the world of business.
Okay.
Okay, so you can have.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, you can share with another friend. Tell us, hey, look, come on, you are struggling with your business. Listen to Business Talk on Love FM. All right.
All right.
Okay, so let's get more of your reactions. 0778 665 073 0778 665 073 0887 105 105 are the numbers to call this afternoon and form part of the program Business Talk. We recap our last week lesson. You did listing, and we want to know what impact are we making in your life since you started listening to the program or following the program Business Talk, and what can be done to improve. If we have some lapses, you can get us to understand this is where you observe that we lacking some force or so. Yes, let's get to talk. Yeah, let's talk. 0778 665 073 0887 105 105. Alfred H. W. Anthony Boo Sr. Thank you so much for joining us. He says, Mr. Alkina R. Phillips, you are welcome back. Mr. Phillips is now back. We were just playing you the previous edition so that you get to know. It was a recap. Then we want to listen
to what you have to say concerning the teachings you've been getting from the program. All right. So Roof Hills, you are welcome. Oh, everybody welcome me, Mr. Phillips. He will be here, God willing, next week Saturday. Yeah, next week Saturday he will be here in flesh and blood. Yeah, yeah. So I appreciate all of you for the welcome. Roof Hills, you one of our ardent followers. We appreciate you. Jusu says, I'm following from Magibi County. Thank you so much, Jusu. He's always with us. We appreciate all of you. All right. We appreciate your following. 0778 665 0887 105 105 are the numbers to call. Let's talk. Get us to understand what we are doing. No, this is the feedback mechanism now we have put into place. We've been here providing education. We've been here enlightening your minds on the things that you need to do to prosper in your business. So it's not all about us providing you the knowledge, but we want to know as to whether the knowledge being provided is actually taking root in your business career, in your personal life, and so forth. So we've put into place this feedback mechanism to allow you to call, or if you are following us via our live feed, Facebook, Love TV Live, just leave your comments there. We will appreciate and we'll definitely read out the comments. All right? We want to know as to whether we are making impact. Every time we come here, oh, Mr. Philip and I teach. We come here, we teach. But we want to know from you as to whether you are grabbing the lesson. We want to complete the structure of communication. Like you will always know that there must be a sender and a receiver. And what is the sender sending? A message. And what is the receiver receiving? He's receiving the message. And what is required from that receiver is a feedback. And the feedback will definitely put the sender in the position to understand as to whether he needs to go higher or he needs to slow down the pace. Maybe, for instance, if I'm communicating with you and my voice is fast or I'm talking faster, come on. Yeah, you tell, oh, Rufus, you talk too fast, so I'm not grabbing that. Then I will go back and reiterate that both people will say. I will go back and echo myself. So that's why we've come. It's the feedback mechanism we put in place now to hear from you. It's just like you got a child, you just feeding the child. You don't care as to whether that food is actually strangling that child, but you just giving, you won't know. You must have a break. In everyone's life, you must have a time that you will soberly reflect on all of the things that you've done or you've been doing. The good, the bad, the evil. Sit down. What caused you to get involved with the evil? What caused you to have gotten involved with the good? And what impact the good is making in the lives of the people that are direct beneficiaries? So this is what we've tried to do, on this edition today. We allow you to weigh in and share with us your own testimony. What Business Talk is actually doing in your life. What Business Talk has done in transforming your business strategies. All right? So 0887 105 105 0778 665 073 are numbers to call and form part of the program. Business Talk right here on Love FM 105.1. People, I got G's. I knew I got G's. I got G's for you. Mr. Philip can dance. What? The man is versatile. I saw the man booking in Dubai. I said, yeah. Well, I got some screenshot here. I got some screenshot here. The man doing a real bookout dance. I got some screenshot here. For those of you following us on Facebook, you're going to see it. But if you are not following us on Facebook, you won't see it. Mr. Philip, the man can dance.
I know wherever he is right now, he's just killing himself, you know. Yeah. 077-866-5073, 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call. Let's talk, man, folks. Let's talk. Thanks to our folks there, Joe, A. Mike Gibby, and Smart in Grand Gila County. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate your continuous support in doing what you find yourself doing as we all put our eyes together for the transformation of our country and its people. Y'all see, G's. Yeah, the G's there. Mr. Philip. Is it about booging it? Man doing booga. Yeah, that's Mr. Philip right there. The man's doing his dance. It was an African night in Dubai where he is at the moment, and it was when he reaffirmed his commitment. The both of them reaffirmed that commitment to each other. Yes, in the marital vow. Yeah, so they are celebrating, and that day was All African Day. Yeah, so. But anyway, let's call it. It was just a side, stuff for us to share the fun. But it's serious. Let's call and have the conversation, knowing that this program have been so important by providing knowledge that you needed, and we want to know as to how far the teaching have reached. If the teaching is not making impact, let us know. We are open to corrections. If we are making impact, let us know so that we can improve than what we are. So these are things that we thought it wise to open the lines, give you the time to speak your mind and talk about the things that matters. Yes, business in Liberia pays. That's why I listened to one motivational speaker. He said, if you would think your salary would do everything for you, you're missing the mark. You're die poor. That's why you see a lot of people get involved with stealing, because when they get public job, they go the ice cream to steal. But when you find yourself getting involved into business pays. So the motivational speaker said, it is always good for you to get involved with business because it helps to add on to what you get from the salary, and it cover up on a lot of things, and it also improve your earnings. Yes, it also improve your earnings. So it's good that you get involved in business, and I'm looking directly in that line to get involved with business. Yes, so true, because if you depend on the salary, if even you're making 13,000, for instance, that 13,000 has a lot of things to cover it. Somebody will say, oh, the day I start making 1,000, the thing I'll do, come on. When you reach there, you will know. Right now, you're making 100, or you're making $95 or $50. And that $50 cannot absorb all of the responsibilities that you have on hand. You see it? But somebody who's making below that $50 is making a praying unto God, if I can only make $50, the thing I will do. But you who is making the $50 now, the situation, the problems cannot be absorbed with just that $50. So you need to get involved with business. So the business will serve in another capacity to add on and solve some of the problems so that you have profits. So that's why you need this kind of teaching. Get involved as always with Business Talk every Saturday by the special grace of God from 2 to 3:30, where we afford everyone the opportunity regardless. It is non-political. And sooner or later, we'll be bringing business people in here to share their own thoughts, to share their own experiences, tell us on how they got to where they are today. We're looking forward to that, to bringing in people who are now successful in the world of business.
How they got there? They be telling you some of the secrets. That's what business talk is all about. Opening your mind. Because we want us Liberians to run our own economy. Like we always say, our economy is not in our own hands, it's in the hands of foreigners. So in order to get our economy back in our own hands, these are basic things that we need to know. And what are those basic things? We must firstly prepare ourselves, get to know the do's and don'ts before we get into business, because business is profitable. If you do not have the strategies, you do not have the principles, you will definitely just get into business and waste the resources, and at the end of the day, it takes you back to square one. You get into business to elevate your earnings or to multiply your earnings. And in multiplying your earnings, what happens? You must maintain, if you are selling Coke bowl, right? Like our Lapa Bido Omane. You started on first with a very nice potato grains, and you make sure that the bowl is well processed. People started trooping in. Each one bring one. People started following that trend. And at the end of the day, because you have multitude of customers now, you drop your hand. When you drop your hand, and then people start going now. Then you say, oh, I wish. Sometimes people, right now, there are places in this country that have influx of customers and people aligning them to medicine. It ain't medicine. There are strategies that you need to put in place, business strategies. That's why Mr. Philip was teaching us. Business strategies you need to put in place to attract customers. One of the things that you can put in place, the manner of approach. What is the manner of approach you have towards your customers? And one of the things that's so much bad in Liberia, I must say for the record, is our customer service. We so bad in customer service. You are selling a commodity and somebody goes there to buy that commodity. You're there taking your own time. The person, more especially, you go to a restaurant or you go to a bar. The reception you receive from those individuals who are there, who are referred to as waiter and waitresses, even the business owner, the manner of approach is not up to standard in terms of attracting customers to your business. They more or less shy away from the business because your manner of approach is not awesome. So business talk guides you in the process. Business talk enlighten your mind on things that you should do and things that you are not to do, so that you attract people to you individually. There are people who you find in the world of business, they are not making the thousands of dollars, but what happened here, they maintain their customers. And based on the maintenance of their customers is the strategy they've put in place. There are a lot of businesses around here. They started on a very fine footing. People were trooping in there. But today, they are finding it difficult to even have 2 to 3 customers. On the same big day, sometimes ordinary day, those places used to be jammed, packed. But now, because of the bad customer service, people are sweating away from that place and going to another place that will suit their taste. Yes, folks, that's the reality of it. You have a restaurant and you started on fine. The recipe was very cool. Everybody trooped in. Yes, she can cook, she can cook. But because plenty of people coming now, man, you start cooking baguette now. You drop your hand, you don't used to season the food well, you no longer season the food. Your manner of approach is not unique any longer. If you want to buy, and I want to buy, yeah, you must go. No, my sister. The rules of engagement when it comes to business. Follow those rules. We've been telling you about those rules. Customer service plays a pivotal role in the success of your business. Oh, yeah. So in order for Liberian businesses to improve and grow there are things that we need to put in place, like Mr. Philip been telling us. Then you just listen to. You need to get yourself prepared. If we are to take the business climate back to ourselves, we must get the education, because when the minds are developed, the eyes will appreciate the voice of the hands. So 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073 are the numbers to call. Let's talk about it. What impact business talk is making in your life? What impact business talk is actually creating for you? Oh yeah. 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call. Let's talk. Tell us what you've learned from business talk, what impact business talk is making. We want to rate ourselves through your recommendation. We want to rate ourselves and improve, because the standard for which we are now, we want to elevate that standard. But how do we go about that? If the people are not understanding us at this initial stage, we cannot elevate the discourse. We want people to get the understanding. When you have the understanding, what's going to happen? It gave us the leverage to add on to what we've been doing. And that is simply to do a lot of research and bring out a lot of talking points so that you can get a trickle-down effect of it, so that you can boastfully say, yes, I'm learning all of the things that I've been taught. If I'm communicating with people and I'm not getting feedback, I must have the time. Whatever I send out there, if even I'm sending out gibberish, the reaction of the people will definitely tell me. So why more about something that is transforming your life, something that is opening your eyes to the world of business, something that is processing you to become the next millionaire? Come on, folks. Let's get to talk. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073 are the numbers to call. Let's talk about these things. It's Business Talk right here, recapping last edition of the teaching. Next week, Mr. Alkina R. Phillips will be here. Both of us will be here by the grace of God to begin from where he stopped. You know, I never wanted to come in with something different. So we thought it wise to recap on the previous lesson. And then when he comes back next week, God willing, he can begin from where he stopped. All right? So let's get your calls coming through. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. The numbers to call this afternoon and form part of the program, Business Talk. Business Talk is your one-stop shop. Come and let's reason together. We can transform our nation. We can transform lives collectively when we share these ideas. All right? So let's get to hear from you, man. Let's get to hear from you. Let's get a few sneak peek from last edition. Yes, a few sneak peek from last edition. And while we await your calls, all right? If you are celebrating your birthday today, we say congratulations anyways. Let's get a few sneak peek from last edition.
Engineering space, we call it a feedback loop. A feedback loop. And then there's a little thing there we call the error that improves the process. So the feedback you're getting, you correct it, and then you put it back in the business process. So, you know, it's one point I want to kind of expand on a little bit here. Just imagine, right? If we all agree, Rufus, wrap your mind around this. If we all agree of the size, right? The impactful size of small business, right? The percentage of GDP they control or contribute to, number of jobs they create, financial transactions every day. If you think Mita Steel is change compared to how much transactional business is done every day in Liberia on mobile money, just small business within the community. Just across Liberia. Mittal, the money Mittal pays every day is chicken change to what is exchanged within small business every day. Honest truth. But then just imagine if we could just do, if small businesses across Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, wherever the case is, if they could do a 10% efficiency improvement, improve just 10% in efficiency, productivity, and profitability, and apply more use of technology and communications and spend more and make more investment in learning, educating to excel. Just imagine how much more of the GDP they will be impactful on. Just imagine how many more jobs they can create. Just imagine how much more cash they can have in their bank accounts to then impact the democratic changes across the country. Just imagine that from that standpoint. And that's my point, you see. So if we, this is, what we're doing here. If people plug in, if more small businesses from Grand Jide to Bon County, to Banga, Bon County, to Kakata, Upper Magibi, Lower Magibi, Montserrat, if they can plug into this business talk and they can listen, learn, they will ultimately grow and they will produce major transformation within our economy and in every economy across the world, and that's our intent. That's our intent. Our intent is to bring knowledge and understanding, teach, so that they will produce what transformational change in businesses. That's the whole idea.
So let's take a few minutes to take calls. 0887 105 105 0778 665073 are the numbers to call. We have limited time. Oh yeah. So like we said, limited time in our favor. That's we afforded the opportunity. Thanks to Mr. Phillips, who continued to do what he found himself doing for us through this platform. And you must take siege of the matter and let's do things together. All right? 0887 105 105 0778 665 073. We want to know what impact business talk is making in your life, in your business. Are we developing your business ideas or whatever it is, man? Let us know. We want to know. Is the feedback mechanism we've put in place? We want to know what's the latest. What improvement into the table? While others are discussing politics, with otherwise to enlighten your minds on those things that will cause you to develop in your career. Because some of you do business for career. That's a career path. So get involved. 0887 105 105 0778 665 073 are the numbers to call. Let's get to talk, man, folks. Let's talk. Yes, let me go for a commercial commitment. And when I come back, we go more on the program because we have limited time now. Yes, we've limited time. So when we come back, we wind down the curtains on today's edition of the program, Business Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, your famous Yuka Rental Services have bounced back with renewed vigor. Yuka Rental Services offers round-town services as well as out-of-town services with our fully air-conditioned vehicles. Yuka Rental Services have the best drivers in town that can take you anywhere you desire in a relaxed manner. We also have in our fleets several limousines under the Shatta Limousine Services. Our services are good and our prices are affordable. We are located on 10th Street in Cinco in the Technology Building on the land side. For reservation, call these numbers 0880 692184 or 0770 560560. When it is Yuka Rental Services, it got to be good, reliable, and relaxing.
The way things going, It looking like 2024 that so enjoyment. Loser said MTN just giving, yeah. The people can't get tired. Momo Wese was at La Pro. Biggest giveaway is back. And this time they reward 2 plated jelly ring. I said, trust to my nearest. Let me tell you all the prizes you can win. Keke, motorbike wheeling, helmet, everything. Brand new smartphone, smart TV, generator, bags of rice, and the last one over a 4 more. A brand new 2-bedroom house. Wow. The only thing that people say you must do to win, just that star 156 hash and use your Momo to buy airtime and data, send money to friends and family people, pay your bills, pay for small thing like gas, food stuff, or any other thing. Then you will get points. With your points, you can enter the weekly draw and also use it to get data or calls. That's why everybody can win. Don't pick and choose, yeah?
Yes, Momo Western WhatsApp 4 is back. Dial star 156 hash to transact and earn points on every Momo transaction and redeem them for airtime, data, or cash. Each transaction enters you into the weekly draw for amazing prizes where you can win keke, generators, smartphones, cash prizes, and the grand prize of a brand new 2-bedroom house. So quickly dial star 156 hash to transact and win now. What is better than free? Nothing. Free is better than 1%. Doing any transaction with MTN mobile money is free. We pay your fees for you. No more adding extra money when you are sending money to friends and family at any agent point. So, join over 1.2 million Liberians doing that transaction on the most trusted, reliable, and #1 mobile money service provider in Liberia, MTN Mobile Money. Dial star 156 hash and start acting today with MTN Mobile Money. Mobile Money, da baby, eh?
Okay, we are back. It's time that we say goodbye. Many thanks to all of you who found part of today's edition of the program. We say thanks to our lone caller who actually weighed in and as his satisfaction of the show. We look forward to more of the interactions. This is your program, of course, that comes away every Saturday by the grace of God from 2 to 3:30. Well, on this note, we always say keep the peace and play safe. Do the things that people will be proud of you, you know. Even yourself, you'll be proud of yourself that you've done something that transformed the life of somebody or a group of people. Don't be a liability to society, but be an asset, because as an asset, what's going to happen here, you will make a livelihood for people, including yourself. I always say, 2 things in this life you always be remembered for: the problems you create and the problems you solve. And we must take responsibility of 2 things in our lives: our fortune and that of our misfortune. Because in union, consult says, is sure with God above, our rights to prove we over all prevail. With hearts and hands, our country cause defending, we meet the foe with valor unpretending. And let me say to all of us as Arsenal fans, Arsenal is up 1-0 against Wolf. And the game is 69 minutes. So if you are a fan of Arsenal, we are gone in glory. So thanks so much, folks. We have ourselves a wonderful and a God bless day. On my end, Basa me will say, be bravo.
A depository of the ultimate powers of society, but the people themselves. And if we think